How you guys doing? We're going to be changing a hinge assist hinge on a 2011 Nissan Titan today. Opened my tailgate the other day and it just dropped down. No, usually it closes down softly or opens up softly, and it basically just fell. It just falls right to the, there's no spring assist on here anymore. So I took a look on the right hand side and I'll bring you guys over to check it out. So over here on the right hand side, you can see the broken hinge. Get a good look at it. Everything looks fine on the other side. Sorry, there's a little cleaning or wax supply there, but everything on the other side looks fine. I'm not really sure how it happened. Could have been from putting too much weight on the actual tailgate, but what we're going to do now is actually replace it. So there's another video on YouTube. Another guy had fixed his, and he actually helped me out a lot with mine. So I'm going to I kind of went off what he did just to kind of learn how to do it, and whenever I do something, I always like to check it out or see it multiple ways or from multiple sources. So I'm making a video for you guys too, so you can kind of see how this process is done as well. I'll put a link to the other guy's video down in the bottom. He's got an awesome turkey that kind of floats around during the video. So anyway, so here we go. The things you're going to need to do are, you're going to have to order a couple parts. I'm going to show you the parts you need here. One is the actual hinge. This part here is right there. And this little ball area here goes, goes back behind the sheet metal of the truck there. So next thing you're going to need is some additional screws. They got a T50 star bit on the end. The other guy that had done it on his video, he was having some trouble getting it off, so we're going to start with using an impact drill, and if that doesn't work, then we're going to move on to see if we can get it done with a hammer or just a bar with a little bit, a socket wrench with a little bit extra length on it, get some torque on it. Okay, so the first thing to do is to remove the tailgate. You do that by taking it off at a 45-degree angle, but what you got to do first is remove all of these little spring clips here. So you kind of have to prop the tailgate up on your lap there and just pull it off like that. It's real simple. Okay, here comes the left side. Give it a little slack. I'm just resting it on my hip here and lifting up, and that's off. You might be able to see here, there is a spot. If you start opening this at 45 degrees, you're going to get this to a point where you could actually lift the tailgate off. So you can see the little gap there. That's where you're going to try to find the right happy spot to lift it off. So my truck's a little more difficult because I've got this bed rug on it, so I just have to remove this. Okay, we're gonna find that happy spot here. There's one side of it. See if I can carefully rest it. It's pretty heavy, not terrible. All right, that just popped right off. So I'm gonna balance it. All right. I got grass here, so I'm going to just rest it on the grass. Here's the other side. You can see that's where you got to kind of, what I was showing you before, you got to get the 45-degree angle and then just pull it off. We're going to give this a shot. We got our T50 Torx bit. We're gonna see if we can get that in there, and then we're gonna see if we can make this easy with a impact wrench. Looks like I'm gonna have similar trouble getting the Loctite thread lock off. Off these bits here, or off these screws. Okay, let's try with just a wrench. Ugh. Yeah, they're on there good, but I bet maybe that torque wrench, maybe my impact wrench helped loosen it up, I don't know, but wasn't as bad as the other gentleman's, but we got it. Let's look at the screw if we're interested. Okay, so this is held on underneath here. My man with the turkey went underneath and was able to unhook it pretty good from underneath. In case you don't actually check out his video, I'll see if I can show you what we're looking at here. So there's a view from underneath. You do gotta look, you do have a pretty good, decent look at it. What the other guy did was just stuck a screwdriver in there, his little spring clip or something on there that he was able to take it off with. So he did it that way, but luckily I read through some of the comments on his video, and a lot of people mentioned that they could just use the access it from taking out the rear tail light. So we're going to take that out real quick. All you need is a Phillips head screwdriver. It's 2 screws here and here, and you can see that's nice and loose now. So we'll pop that out. It's probably worthwhile to take a look at what's going on behind the light here. Here is the actual assist. It's just a strut. Looks like it's held on by a spring clip up here at the top. And it's got some movement to it. And down here at the bottom too, now you can see exactly what we're working with. So the way to remove these clips is you'll probably actually get a better view if I show you up here first. These, let's see if I can get this looking right here for you. Okay, so there's little slots above and below. If you can get a screwdriver up under there, you could pop that off. So you gotta go, you can see they've given you a little slot above and below to make it happen. This actually might be easier from underneath. I'm gonna take a look. Okay, so maybe you saw what I did there, and it was way easier actually just going underneath and sticking a small flathead screwdriver up under there. I would get one that's pretty long because it was my hand was starting to hit the bumper. So just make sure you got a long, tiny flathead screwdriver. This one here is about the size that I used. Now we can actually work this piece out. Here's the old piece. Just to give you an idea, this is where the old one failed. This is the broken portion of it. All the parts for this whole project were about, I think it would cost me $50. The other guy said maybe 40, but it was like 50, maybe another few for shipping, so it was all under 60. I asked the dealership and they were trying to charge me 150. They wanted to charge me 250 to actually for them to actually replace it. We're going to start reassembling here. Going to stick the ball joint through first, and you see we've got a nice match right here. We're going to grab the new screws. The site that I bought these off of, you had to buy them in packs of 5. That's how they sold them, so I'll have a few extra if something else comes up. But I would recommend, you could use the old screws again and just put some new Loctite on them, I guess. There's absolutely nothing wrong with them. But going off the other guy's video, I ordered new ones anyways, and I do have some Loctite, but I'll just use the new ones as well. They're only a couple bucks, so it's not a big deal. Okay, so first part of reassembly here. All I'm gonna do is just loosely attach these guys. In place. Okay, now you can see the hinge assist strut, and we're gonna get under the car here. Grabbed a couple things you might want to do is you might want to take a rag and wipe the underside of your truck if you're going to go underneath. I think it might actually be easier to reattach this thing from underneath too, so you could probably get away from coming under the truck at all. I mean, taking the taillight out at all. But the little pin is hard to get to, so. And I got the light shining right in my eyes, of course. So it's a little difficult to get this hinge out. So I grabbed a little auger or poker tool, and I'm going to use that to slip underneath that notch, and then I can get a screwdriver here, hopefully. Underneath the spring clip. It's a little bit of effort. Okay, so we're all half off now. I might be able to just slip this on, which it looks like I can, and get that spring clip to go back down. I didn't even have to take the spring clip off, but it's just a push clip, so if you find it easier or if it pops off on you, it's going to be way easier just to leave it off, and then you can push it back on with your hands afterwards. You probably won't have to do exactly what I'm doing. So you might find it easier to work from the top. So you'll figure out your own way. All right, we're going to move back up. Okay, so now you can see that we've got our ball joint is attached to the hinge assist. And we are going to now tighten down these bolts to where they originally were. And just tighten them up by hand here as much as I can. And then I'm going to move on to work with the wrench here. Okay, work with the socket wrench and work our way back in here. So what I'm doing is just, there's a little play in here. So all I'm doing is looking at where the old one was and doing the best that I can to tighten it down back in the same position that it was. Okay, so you can kind of see the very thin line around the new bracket, just showing where the old one was clipped on. So these suckers were on there really tight before, so we're gonna tighten them down just as good now. And there's definitely a nice positive stop when you get it real tight. Okay, we're going to put the taillight back in. And our 2 screws. Don't need quite as much pressure. These guys just snug. Okay, so lastly here, when I spoke with the dealer, they showed that you're gonna need a shim, all right? They make these in 1, 1.5, and 2 millimeters thick. So at the dealer, of course, they try to make it sound confusing and you had to figure out exactly which type of shim you needed, but maybe why it cost me a few more dollars online is I just ordered all of the different sizes and I would figure out which size shim that I had when I got the thing apart. So what you're looking at is all 3 shims, and they're probably about $3 or $4 each. I mean, I know it's kind of a waste, but and I don't know if I can return them later, but you know, we'll see. Otherwise, you know, obviously I'd have to disassemble it first before ordering. So here we're going to look at the shim. If you're looking at the tailgate, it's the same side that the hinge that broke was on. Okay, so we got to get that out of there. You could probably do the job with a screwdriver or something, but if you got a little hook type or auger type thing, it's going to make that way easier getting out. Okay, so here is the shim. If my guess is correct here, I think that these ones are actually color coded. So I'm not sure if it says on the packaging here which one's the 1 millimeter too. Actually, I could probably tell you just by looking at it. So this looks like the cream colored one is your 1 millimeter. The gray one here looks to be your 1.5. And the darker black one, dark gray, is your 2 millimeter. So if you just match up the color, looks like I had a 1 millimeter one in there. So I'm gonna use that one and maybe I can return the others. So hopefully you can see this. I'm just gonna pop this one back in. Okay, so time to reinstall. get the right side in first. Get that 45-degree angle. I can already feel it's working. Okay, now we'll just drop our cable clips on here, like I showed you before. Just pop right on. It's good. Okay, on the other side here, done. So now I will take the bed rug mat. Okay, so not really sure why. Maybe just because I was dealing with it for a little while without having the hinge assist, but I feel like it works. Better than ever. I mean, it's like effortless. Man, this thing makes such a difference though, having that on there rather than having to having the thing drop down on you. So thanks for checking out the video. Hopefully I helped some people out and make this job a little easier for you.